Hey, shalom, shalom. First thing first, I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that's due unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. Salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth and all sincerity and diligence, risking both your lives and freedoms to do so. All right. Shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of the Lord Yahweh Shah. This is your brother Rakagabar. I'm gonna be doing this lesson, going into how this society, all right, is extremely hypersexualized, man. And ultimately this lewdness that we experience, through the media, through the shit that these hoes be wearing. All right, you can't even go to the gym, man, and you go to the gym and it's like, people damn near, butt ass naked, man. You know, and ultimately, man, the Lord, is not with this, okay? And it's really vexing because it's like you can't even, you can't even watch a show, or you can't even, turn your television on without some type of nudity or something flashing across the screen, man. You know, and what inspired this lesson is this article. It says new reality TV show sets blueprint for contestants to lose virginity on television. All right, and they appear to have these two, butt naked Edomites, man. Okay, and this really goes back to Greekish customs. Okay, when you deal with the ancient Greeks, matter of fact, I had this pulled up. Okay, because the ancient Greeks, they did worked out naked, man. All right, I just typed into the ancient Greeks workout naked. And it says, yes, ancient Greek athletes did train and compete naked in many instances, particularly in the context of the gymnasium and the Olympic Games, man. See, this is why you go to the gym and whatnot, and it's like, people are wearing less and less clothing, man. All right. I was watching a video earlier. They pretty much went into like, you can go to the beach, you go to the beach and it's like, people, these hoes will be out there with thongs on and little bras that barely cover anything up. But, whole time it's accepted in that setting. But, if you was to go outside with just your drawers on, or some panties and a bra on, it would be lewd behavior. It'd be lewd behavior, man. But, just goes to show you how the type of society that Esau pushes, man, is really a hypersexual society, man, to where it's to the point to where the little girls, are wearing, those little yoga pants and the clothing that's really, you shouldn't wear, man. Shit that really you should is damn near lingerie, But hey, that's the society that Esau established, man. You don't got to be covered up. Pretty much go outside butt ass naked if you want to. Pretty sure you can do that in some states, man. Like some states, I believe you can, like, even women can go outside shirtless, and I'm gonna look that up in a moment. But it says the term gymnasium itself is derived from the Greek word gymnos, meaning naked. Oh wow, which I'm just finding that out. But that makes sense. Okay, the term gymnasium itself is derived from the Greek word gymnos, meaning naked. Wow. This practice was not seen as scandalous or inappropriate, but rather as a way to display the beauty and skill of the male form and to honor the gods, according to some historical sources, man. Okay, and this is off because, scriptures go into not looking at the nakedness. Matter of fact, hold up, give me one moment. Well, because that's let me see if this is what I want. Well, this is more so going into family, if you will. All right. But Leviticus 18:7. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. Okay. So on and so forth. This is primarily more so touching on family. Okay, like what happened with Noah. All right, and Ham. Ham looked on the nakedness of his father Noah and was cursed. But ultimately, nonetheless, the lewdness is what we see here in Babylon the Great on massive display. And I believe this particular show is actually based in the UK. Okay, but you see these types of shows everywhere, man. I think there's a show called Naked and Afraid, which I haven't watched it, but I mean, just based off of the name, I mean, I'm sure, it pretty much implies what it implies, man. Okay, I think it's like a survival show or something. But the point I'm making is that we live in an extremely hypersexualized society. I mean, to the point to really where nothing is left up to the imagination. Okay, when you go into a hypersexual society refers to a culture where sexuality is highly visible. And like, the saying goes, sex sells. All right. It says sexuality is highly visible, prevalent, and potentially normalized to an excessive degree. See, and that's the prop. That's what it is, man. This shit is normalized to an excessive degree. Like I said, you can't watch anything. All right, where they'll have men and women naked, just butt ass naked, man. And there used to be a point in time where they would blur shit, or make the scene, film it from a certain angle. But now it's just again, they make it prevalent, man. And this lewdness, which is really what it is, all right, is going to bring a destruction to this place, man. Okay, it says normalized to an excessive degree, often impacting social interactions, relationships, and individual perceptions of self. Yeah, you get it to where, women dress a certain way, and it's now we got the whole my body, my choice. Well, you're dressing like a whore, but yet I'm not supposed. Your ass cheeks is out. You got a tiny ass skirt on. Your ass cheeks is out. You know what I'm saying? You wearing a little short crop top where your titties is busting. And you dress like that, but when I approach you, because you giving that vibration off, now I'm a creeper, now this and that. See, but that just goes to you, man. It fucks up social interactions, relationships, because your shorty want to wear whatever the hell she want to wear the whole time, knowing these men are going to be salivating. And it just like I said, man, it shows societal decay. All right, let me see here. But I wanted to grab the definition for lewd. Okay, lewdness refers to a behavior that is considered indecent, obscene, or lascivious, typically involving sexual impropriety. Okay. It encompasses a range of actions including indecent exposure and other sexual conduct, often in public or in a manner that is offensive. And that's, yeah, man. That's what we see. Like I said, this show is a new reality TV show, sets blueprint for contestants to lose virginity on television, man. What the fuck is that? What the fuck, man? It's become too normalized to just look at the nakedness of another person. Now, obviously, if you got somebody you dealing with and woo, then that's different. But I mean, it's to the point, man, to where, it's too fucking much, man. This society is completely hypersexualized, and you wonder why shit happens, man. There's a matter of fact, there was a over there in France, they had a massive festival, I think a few days ago, and it was like 12 or 14 men went on a spree of with these needles injecting these women, okay, because women were the target when you look into it, with date grape drugs, man. Date grape drugs. And I believe they said 145 people were injected, and the primary target was women. And when they did the blood results, it was, some type of date grape drug that was in it, man. See, and you can thank a hypersexualized society for that, because if women were supposed to be modest, if everybody was to be covered up, you didn't have naked men and naked women on television and in movies and shit, and people were portrayed to be modest, then hey, that would add a level of protection, man. That's why modesty is important. You see what I'm saying? But you attract what you put out. Whether a lot of you females want to admit it or not, my body, my choice, blase, blase. You attract what you put out, man. If you're covered up, all right, and yeah, you're gonna have the argument, well, shit still happens, blah, blah, blah. Hey, man, not as often. You outside with a little ass dress on, some fucking high heels, and a crop top, or whatever the case may be, then yeah, you're drawing a certain type of attention to yourself. But this is the reason why scriptures say this. All right, Tobit 4:13. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking the wife of them. For in pride is destruction. Okay, and this is Pride Month, right? We know the Lord hates pride. Okay, it says, for pride is destruction and much trouble. And you got to be proud to, be lewd, man. You have to be proud to, like I said, in ancient Greece, they was competing in sports and doing all types of shit, butt ass naked, man. And the Lord hates that. He hates a proud individual because, again, this leads to a hypersexual, a morally decayed society, man, to where, you wonder why certain things happen. Okay. And it's just really just foul, man. It's really just sick when you think about it. But, so like I lost my, okay, Tobit 4:13. It says, for in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine, man. Yes, decay, societal decay, moral decay. Okay. This society has no morality to it, man. Everybody is fucking half naked, all the time, and woo 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 and shit, and it's just like it's just you can't. It like I said, man, it fucks up social interactions. It fucks up society, for lack of better words. It says, for lewdness is the mother of famine. All right. And like we went into, lewdness refers to behavior that is considered indecent, obscene, or mischievous, typically involving sexual impropriety. All right. Which this is a very lewd society, man. Okay. Indecency or obscenity, vulgar sexual character or behavior. All right. And that's the society we live in, man. And hey, there is great famine coming to this place. That's what all the warnings have been pointing to, on top of war and on top of destruction. All right. On top of you women being grabbed up and ravished. All this is in the scriptures, man. These are all warnings the Lord been putting out by the prophets, man. And hey, now we're really in them times to where you starting to see this shit shape up. Okay. But I wasn't about to dive into the article. It says, in an era where reality TV constantly reinvents itself to capture fleeting attention spans, Channel 4's Virgin Island has emerged as a cultural phenomenon, particularly among Gen Z viewers. This groundbreaking UK reality show, which premiered in May 2025, has taken the streaming world by storm, becoming Channel 4's biggest unscripted launch. Blah, 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 man. You get the point. I could put it in the description box. But like I said, this impacts social interactions, relationships, and individual perceptions of self, kind of like an individual who just watches porn all day. That's really all this shit is. It's kind of like an individual who just watches porn all day, man. You don't have a true perception of reality. You don't have a true perception on interacting, building a connection with someone, talking to someone, X, Y, and Z. Because your dopamine receptors is fried, and you can't get past that shit, man. But anyways, that's really the point. The Lord is not, he doesn't support this proud behavior, man. Matter of fact, if anything, the Lord is about modesty, man. And, not just limited to women, because men ain't supposed to be just walking around with their rods out, but obviously. When you go into this modesty, we'll just grab 1 Timothy 2:9. It says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Be meaning you're supposed to dress a certain way, man. You're supposed to be covered up, ain't supposed to be in all this, even all this shit, man. People butt ass naked, on television, fucking on each other and freaking off and shit, man. It's gone to the point to where the Lord just really got to destroy this place because, I mean, hey, you imagine this dude had 15, 20 more years to rule, man. I mean, shit, they probably passed laws to where you could just walk around butt ass naked. They probably fuck around and get to the point to where people will participate in sports naked, man. Just completely lewd, man. But that's really it on that. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shah, DTA Wababa Ball, Shalom.